Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Cat Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Afterlight Skies. I'm your GM, Erin. I'm going to quickly introduce our players and have them roll Destiny. Starting with John, who's somewhere around me.
Hey, the spell has been broken. Until next week, because I just jinxed it.
And as our Jedi commits to a course of action that will oppose the evils of the Sith very explicitly and needs this force of light suddenly allows him his alignment to shift back in its balancing act.
Yay.
Powder.
I'm Cat playing Powder. Let's see what I get. Ooh, I got us two light.
And Cody.
Hey, I'm Cody. I'm playing Prez, the Zabrak Commando. Roll Destiny. Too dark. Oh, I'm gonna get gritty. I'm gonna kill people this episode.
Keep in mind that the only person who is actually bound by that is Senstaku because of his randomization. But
I know.
And Jeremy.
I am Jeremy. I am playing Luxira, Zeltron hacker person, and balancing us out with one dark side.
It is.
Okay. As the first time it's been
tension and conflict between the sides of the Force start to emerge. Our heroes have learned that an individual they brought in for Praz's clan, named him Doreen Ross, is to be handed over to the Empire. He holds the secrets to invisibility for ships, an incredibly valuable piece of technology and information that would certainly make it almost impossible to compete with the leaps and bounds that that person makes. So our heroes have committed to stopping this and escaping, perhaps exposing themselves a bit in the process. They have time to prepare, but not much. And they're not sure how much. It will be 3 days until their new ship is ready, a ship that they feel that they cannot complete this plan without. So, as we begin our first day of planning and prepping, who would like to do something? Okay.
That sounds somewhat accurate.
All right. are you approaching this? Okay, how are you planning this? How do you want to plan this?
So I know where the ship is. And I know a bar nearby that some of the Imperials are going to. I've been showing up there. I've done it a couple times now.
If you've done it twice, technically, but yes.
Yeah, a couple times. Not making contact, just showing up to sort of establish myself as a regular to them. I had sort of a longer game in mind, but since the timeline has been shortened, we can ramp things up a bit. Okay, remind me, what kind of information are we trying to get from this, from the Imperial side? I'm sorry. Okay. No, I did not. We were talking about whether we were going to or not. Because there was concern about if I did so, whatever we end up doing being traced back to. We don't want to backlash on the locals here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Perfect.
Did we decide what I could do to help in this?
I mean, I think most of what you're going to be doing is during the actual nabbing of Dorian, I believe.
Yeah.
So, Powder, what's been communicated to you is so far, at least that I'm aware, is that they're going to need someone to sneak in to get Dorian, probably essentially incapacitate him for medical emergency, was at least one version of the plan.
Yep.
And get him out.
Yeah, I remember that because I have the paralytic. We were going to make it look like he was dead and cart him out. I remember that much. But it was for the... That's once we find out where he is and figure out how to get to him. Okay. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, other than providing a distraction of some sort. Yeah.
I can't ask her for any more questions. I can't ask Nikri for more questions. We're going to have to find out where he is the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Well, I can stay on the ship and watch the intern. Play more chess.
Darius is fine. He's
got engineering stuff to look forward to.
yes.
Physically, I don't even know where to start. Because once we handed him off, we kind of went and talked. They could have took him downstairs or to an entirely different building.
Technically, they could have taken him completely off planet, but...
Yeah, but... Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Most of you being people who've lived, actually, I'd say all of you, being people who've lived and operated on the edges of the law and the Outer Rim, would be aware that even if this is a fairly small operation, you're not sure what the size is, it's likely that they have a Star Destroyer or other large vehicle somewhere in the sector that's probably overseeing multiple things, but could respond depending on the situation. That's just a baseline of your expectations for Imperial back.
And we're also...
small unit, but yeah.
Yeah. We're also...
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. See the wagging tail. We're also working under the assumption that Dorian is still alive.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I guarantee that he is.
Okay.
We have a lot of cool things, but nothing like that. I think so.
True.
Lux is just gonna hang around the bars and see what the troopers are up to.
No,
Oh no, are you watching the ship?
I'm gonna go to the bar, but I'm not just gonna hang out and watch and get information.
Okay.
Like Lux is doing the Lux thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check out bounties, but I think somebody should physically keep an eye on the ship, because if they have a lot of people move out all of a sudden, that probably means that they're going to grab Doreen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right. since one of these is fairly autonomous from the other two, at least for the moment. Praz, would you like to start?
Yeah.
Okay. You're headed to the local bounty office. This is... Yep. You're familiar with this. You worked as a bounty hunter off your own planet for a little while before leaving fully. And you still come back here to get jobs on occasion.
Yeah, for my first jobs to break myself into the industry.
Yep, get your contacts in order, all of that. Mm-hmm. The clan does offer some bounties and other rewards that are specific to the interests of the clan, which often are lower paying, but also have reputation and obligation associated with them. But they also keep a really solid eye on any bounties from the underworld, from the Empire, anyone who's putting out that kind of information you can't get locally. So you head by the office. Just gonna look at what's publicly available. I'm
gonna see what they have like up on the wall publicly available, and then once that's done, I'm gonna ask if there's any new Imperial bounties.
Okay.
Because
looking at
Imperials always bring new bounties
listed as publicly available. There are the Empire kind of has an outstanding bounty for information on any Jedi or information on any rebel. But those don't seem to be updated with any information that seems particularly relevant, at least on the standard just bounties. Beyond that, there's a number of things, but everything from petty crime to, that's one that is relevant to you. You're sort of like running down the list of different. There is, without a name, but a very like accurate description. Rerun is currently wanted for explosions and property damage, it seems. The bounty is in a pending status, which makes you assume that someone is in the process of claiming it, but that is something you would notice. And now thinking about it, he hasn't been back to the ship in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a talk when I leave the bounty office, so I don't go, hey, you're on the board in the bounty office.
Okay. But that's of the thing. Unless is there something specific you're looking for in addition to just things that might be relevant to your group?
Well, yeah, Imperial, any Imperial bounties, and if there's any descriptions, any that match the description of Lux or Sen.
Okay. There are 4 or 5 Imperial bounties publicly listed. Most of them don't. None of them match Lux or Sen's description. One of them is looking for thief and hacker, but the description is of a Twi'lek male. So your best assumption is that that's not Lux.
Yeah. Nothing to match its Sen's description.
No, there's a few pilots on the board, but no Ichani Force-sensitive pilot. Or other relevant descriptions.
No, I wore a helmet last time when we raided that place, so they wouldn't have my description. So.
And you would also, the raid you did was also in the Outer Rim, but it was in a very different part of the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
So they might not be publicly displaying as these are wanted people who may be in your local area.
Yeah.
Convenient money displaying your anything related to that here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up to the bounty clerk.
Okay. Hey, Prez. Haven't
Hey.
seen you in a while. You've
Yeah,
been
it's
back
been a
on
while.
planet long?
A few days. Just getting some business. Had to bring somebody back for the clan.
Huh, cool.
So do you got any jobs that aren't public yet?
There's
Any-
a few things here and there.
Anything
You had
from the
any
Empire?
particular tastes?
Anything from the Empire? I've noticed that they're around. They normally bring new bounties and kind of want to keep some hush-hush every once in a while.
You know your stuff. You also know where all the goddamn money comes from.
Yeah.
Stupid. I think the Hutts could pay a little better.
That's less money for them then.
True, and people do it anyway for favor.
Yeah.
Got a few things. And want to talk about him in the back? He's
Yeah.
sort of looking around. There's one or two other people milling about in the office. They're just your old friend sort of waves to one of the other clerks to man the desk and heads off into a back room.
I will find the door that I know leads that way.
Yep. And this
when you
is
see
standard
the
practice.
material.
They don't talk about the under the table bounties
Yeah.
in the main area. They typically are like, let's go in the back room. So we don't advertise that where we're not supposed to.
Only people that need to know should know, and I know.
Yeah. So, there's a few Jedi pings. There always are. None of them are going to turn into anything, but
Yeah.
like, hunting down crazy people who think that they've got a connection to the spirit of the universe or whatever.
Yeah. Meh.
Turtle worshipping crazy lunatics. That can pay. Let's see. And he's like trying to recall for a second. Apparently there's something recent about looking out for a kind of younger woman, probably human, described as human, but that was a little ways away and a while back, and obviously no details because Jedi, they're just like, well, you'll know it when you see it, and
Yeah.
I don't know about that stuff myself, but I can hand you what we've got on that. There's another one that's, of course, there's always old stuff on the Jedi, but the only thing I can think of that's recent is they did put out a investigation on a few identified rebel members. Whatever. Let's see. Adult male of tall, standard build, humanoid, but probably not standard, not default human.
Yeah.
Hanging out with a Twilight guy that they actually posted the bounty publicly.
Okay.
And he'll hand you over 2 files with sort of blurry face pictures, including the picture you would have seen of the Twilight man in the main area, but with a few more additional angles.
Okay.
Both of those are 3,000 apiece, plus up to 4,050 if you bring them in alive. Though confirmation of their death still gets you 3,000. There's also, and he indicates on the files he just gave you, there's also an additional fee if you manage to get their ship, or any of their equipment that might contain sensitive information. That's all I got on Empire.
Okay. So they think rebels are hiding out here? Or near here?
Somewhere in the sector. I think it's like rebels in that they undercut the prices of drugs. Rebels, from what I can see. But,
cutting in on the Empire's profit.
Yeah. Because most of the charges that they're officially wanted for are raiding supply areas that, they're Imperial, but they're just drug stop-offs. So presumably they're taking a bit, selling it themselves for using, and they've been too good at it.
Alright. Alright. That's all you got.
Hey, if you're still in the area, I'll hit you up if I get anything else.
Yeah. Let me know if anything new comes in too.
Of course. Always happy to help. So just anything Imperial.
Yeah. Anything that happens on planet too.
On planet or Imperial.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Alright. Well, I got some other stuff to take care of, so I'll head out.
See you later, boss.
Alright. I'll leave.
Yep. And they'll return to their desk. Okay.
Cool.
Yep. And as soon as I leave the bounty office and I get a few, probably like 20, 30 feet away, I'll click my communicator onto Rerun's channel and go, where the fuck are you, and why did I see a bounty for you in my planet's home office?
There's no response.
Alright, well, I don't got a locator on him, so I can't find him. Yeah. He probably wouldn't want one on him.
No, probably not.
Did y'all put
Don't be so sure.
I was like, did y'all put a locator on Powder?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Yet.
I mean, they just had one droid run away, so we'll see what that causes the reaction to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Ah, shit. I feel like I should try to go find him, but we kind of need to... I'll go back to the ship and let everybody know that what's going on with the bounty is that there's nothing for any of us, or you, especially you two. Just one for Rerun, and he's not answering, so either he's on his way to the office or he's giving him a good shake. So...
Powder will say fuck taint in binary.
Yeah.
Just because.
My thoughts exactly.
Okay.
The things they learned from Rerun.
Alright. So, I'm going to quickly go to Powder. Powder, with just an advantage on your knowledge warfare check, the only thing that comes to your mind, you don't have any experiences to reference for this sort of thing.
Right.
Is in terms of medical protocol, the more time you have to sneak in and hide in the place where if you're, like, the plan seems to be for you to go into a medical facility and essentially fuck with stuff to get him out.
Right.
The more time you have to essentially familiarize yourself with those specific places' protocols, the more likely you'll be able to get in and get out without raising any alarms too early. However, the longer you're in there, the more likely it is someone will discover you're not meant to be there. So,
of course,
that's the only assessment you can come to right now.
Of course. But we're not even sure. No, it's fine. But we're not even sure if he's actually in the building that I've been tasked to watch, right?
Yeah, you don't know where he is right now.
Yeah.
So you're just watching the ship.
Yeah. The ship.
Yeah. You know he's not. Well, if he's in the ship, that would be news to everyone.
Yeah, you know.
And there'd probably be some questions that need to be asked of someone. I just don't know who would have managed that. You definitely could. You do have an outstanding deal to trade ships, but you could also just leave. You do not randomly have him in your cargo hold.
Yeah.
And then we walk by him and he's just sipping coffee.
This is just rude. How dare you?
Yep.
Get back to the Imperials so we can rescue you.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Now armed with the knowledge that Rerun's gotten himself into shit again.
Yeah.
Lux and Tanstaku.
Yes.
You're headed together to the base and then headed back from there?
In that direction.
Okay.
When we get close enough to it, I'm going to. All right, it's that way. Try not, huh? The one with the ship in it. It's I don't know, to be honest. I'm assuming like it's like private landing point or
It's in an interior shipyard.
okay.
More of the standard kind of docking bay you tend to see in Star Wars than like an open shipyard. The only information you have about this place is what Praz managed to gather from public records.
Right.
So, you don't know if it's public or private. You do know that if the Empire is currently docking there, it's private. It's private by consequence.
Yeah, I might be a little while, so don't wait up.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with Sun.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Are you? I'm assuming you're taking a stealthy approach, or sorry, go ahead. Yeah. I want. Yeah. I want you to make me a deception check with 2 boost die, because this is not necessarily challenging, but you are walking past a guarded area. Difficulty of standard of 2 because it's an opposed check.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. So, is there something specific you would like to spend your advantages on? Let me check that sheet. So stealth, one of the major examples they give for stealth is you can use advantages to reduce the time needed. Or, sorry, that's stealth. But also very relevant. For deception, well, it says increase the value of the goods or services gained. But yes, it was. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice. Please reroll that. It will be stealth if you try and sneak up or in later, but
Well, there you go.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
That is how you do it.
That is much better.
So successes essentially extend the duration of the deception. You manage to carry on by at a reasonable enough pace where you can get a good look without seeming at all out of the ordinary. You seem completely comfortable here, which is especially not especially challenging given that almost no people of it is almost entirely Zabrak, and it's not a very heavily trafficked area, but no one pays you more mind than you're not trying to come in here, for the two troopers who are watching the door. You managed to carry it off as though nothing particular and even get a pretty good look. There are a few sort of ventilation entrances. They're all very high up, but you suspect they would actually get you in. They're a little tight for you, but you could probably squeeze it. Someone smaller would definitely be able to get in that way. The intern just looks small. He's not actually that much smaller than you. Yes, Dorian is the intern. He is smaller than you, but not significant.
Darius is the intern.
Darius.
Yes,
Dorian.
Okay,
about.
Darius is the intern. Dorian Ross is the person we're trying to get out.
Technically, it's Doreen, but yeah. Oh, okay. You confused me. Yeah, Doreen.
We've all been confused. That's why we call them the intern.
Similarly named characters in the same chapter, and I probably shouldn't trust character generators to make up names.
We're just going to tell Darius that he has to have a different name now, and I'm pretty sure he'll go with it.
Yeah.
That's why we call him the intern.
Okay. So Doreen he could probably also fit through. You don't know a lot about how athletic he is, if he could even get up there, but if you were trying to sneak him into the Imperial facility, I'm going to remind you. Yep. Everyone but Praz. So you and Lux could both probably fit through, though not terribly, it's not going to be quick for you. Neither of you are Ezra-sized Lego minis. No one gets that reference. That's fine. And Praz and Powder would probably have a little more trouble. Powder because droids are a little bulky. And clang, 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 clang.
Or climbing vents.
Ventilation shafts, certainly.
Yeah. I can lie to your face.
Just because he's fairly bulky. There is a main entrance. You don't see any other entrances, so it's possible there's one that comes in from another of these shipyards, because there are a few connected to each other. There are, as I said, 2 stormtroopers guarding the gate. And they seem to be decently diligent, though not good enough to catch you. You'd imagine there's more probably on the interior, though they're probably not like directly on the other side of the door. With your knowledge as a pilot, you would guess that inside, by the way, I'm not making you roll for this because your deception was enough of a success that you get the time to analyze this. From your knowledge as a pilot, there's probably a large area inside, as well as some sort of control console. Ships probably leave through the roof. That large area most likely has additional guards stationed at it, as do any other doors, is your best guess. But you can't see inside, so... Okay. To sort of shortcut finding these approach angles, I want you to just roll me a difficulty 2 streetwise, and your successes or failures will determine how good the route you find is. Okay. With one advantage, you do find some more covered alleys. Yep. Yep, that's... Yeah. It does seem like this entire building is locked down, though the other areas are less, only have one guard each, so you can guess where they actually are in the most major, which makes sense, especially if they might have 2 ships, that they'd have their people stationed at the biggest area. For that, I want you to make a vigilance roll, difficulty of 3, just to see if you can pinpoint where might be a good entrance. Okay. Okay. Are you using it to upgrade or to make a convenient and possibly true thing true? Because those are both options with the light side point. Yes, the second one would allow you to make the roll. It allows you to essentially do the GM thing and assert something that is convenient is true by spending a point. Yes, so the ventilation shafts I mentioned before do happen to extend around the building. So there's essentially one on top of each entrance, and you could find one that has decent cover from most of the guards. If you made sound getting up there, they are all high up, unfortunately. If you made sound getting up there, it's possible you would attract the attention of the guards that are stationed here, but you wouldn't have... You could attempt the climb without being in anyone's view. As long as no one's walking where you're currently walking. Sure. Right. Sure. All right. Using that streetwise roll you made before, you can find those routes. They're not as covered as you might like, but they are more hidden. I do want to note, just so I'm not hiding this from you, the more covered route being further away is likely going to require a further interior travel. Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. Yep. Lux.
Yes.
You were going to a bar, I think.
Yes. Having dropped Sten off at his exploration place, I turn around and head back toward the bar. On the way, I will duck into an alleyway. Find a good place where I can quickly stow some stuff.
Sure.
And remove certain parts of gear and outfit to take on a much more appealing demeanor.
Yep. Just make me a streetwise roll difficulty 1 just to benchmark how hidden the stuff is.
Cool. Streetwise difficulty 1, streetwise. There we go. That's a wash.
With a wash, it's not ideal, but you do find a place where you can stow things out of the way.
Good enough. As long as I put the least appealing stuff on top.
Yeah.
And put like the blaster.
Fortunately, right next to the Empire is not typically the most high crime area of the city.
Right.
While the Empire is here.
Like, is there like a garbage can or something like that? One of those places that's emptied regularly, but like once a day kind of thing.
Yeah. You managed to do that. It's just not. It's not as nice as you might have hoped.
That's fine. As long as I'm not just dropping like my blaster and other equipment in the middle of the street. Yeah.
Yeah. You're good.
And then I will make my way to the bar.
Cool. As you head on in, you're expecting there to be less people because it is a little earlier than you've been going. You've been typically going sort of nighttime scene. You actually see just about the same number, at least, of Empire people here. Less locals right now. So you get the idea. Possibly it's a bit of a different set. You recognize a few of them, but not most of them.
Okay.
You suspect that it may be whoever's not on duty is sometimes here. So they probably have a fairly constant flow of people depending on their work times.
Okay. So I go in, walk up to the bar, lean over, get a drink. And I will sit there, chat up the bartender, very bubbly style.
Yeah.
Well, surreptitiously watching the various imperials and picking out my mark.
Okay. Let's let's see. I'm gonna... Chatting with the bartender won't require a roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say first I need a deception roll.
Okay.
Essentially for how subtle you are.
Right.
Stuff from the deception will transfer over into rolling to pick out a mark.
Diff 2?
Yep. Difficult diff 2.
2 successes and an advantage.
All right. Definitely good enough. So with you're just sort of keeping the same demeanor you've had. A few people recognize you, which certainly helps that that notion. And yeah, you're able to observe them without being observed. So
I don't mind too much. I don't mind if they notice me. Actually, that's almost ideal.
But,
just
like,
not that they don't notice me
thinking about
noticing
you.
them.
yeah.
Yes.
No, there's certainly one or two people that notice you. You're a very pretty lady
Perfect.
being bubbly at a bar.
Right.
Unfortunately, that results in notice, but not. So I'm gonna say, make me a.
Cool, maybe?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be cool.
Okay.
To essentially insight check for. And 2 boost die.
Oh, sorry.
With 2 boost die, 1 for having set this up in advance,
Okay.
and 1 for your advantage on the deception check.
Cool. That's 3 successes and 2 advantages.
Yeah. You notice someone.
Eeny, meeny, miny, hello.
You notice a woman. She seems like a mid-level officer. Her eyes do glance to you perhaps more times than the rest of them, but not in like a critical way. Mostly
Okay.
in a, that she has noticed you kind of way. Yeah. She's actually pretty isolated from the rest of the soldiers here.
Okay.
Though not like, just like she's sitting at a table where no one else happens to be.
Right. Okay. So I will take just a couple minutes to sort of make sure that there's nobody coming, there's nobody who just happens to have left the table or anything like that. Get sort of a good measure of her. And then I will take my drink and I will head over in that direction.
Okay. When she notices you heading over, she'll sort of smile and give a little bit of a wave and sort of gesture if you'd like to sit down.
Yep. And I give a big old smile.
Cool.
Take a seat. I couldn't help but notice you over here by yourself. That seems...
Yes, so.
That seems... everybody else's loss. Hold on just a second. Need to look at one thing really quick because I did not. Those are the worst names ever. So hi. God damn it. I am the worst at coming up with fake names for Star Wars characters. Cause
Dorian and Dorian and Durius. Doreen and Durius.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as probably what I would have come up with. Come on, generator, help me out here. Yeah.
This is Ted and Jacob.
It's that easy.
They're totally Star Wars people.
It's Jenny. Jeni.
Yeah, the first thought I had was Jerry, and
really
quick,
I want
no, because that's just changing my own name slightly.
I'm just interrupting slightly because I'm suddenly very afraid that the audience hasn't heard anything from me all game. Because I just checked my microphone levels, and it seems like the mic in OBS for some reason was referencing a different mic and not this one. So I apologize if you didn't hear a thing I've said this whole time.
Do we need to go on break to give you some time to fix that?
I mean, it's fixed. It's fixed now.
Okay.
Okay.
I have just now fixed.
There we go.
We're sorry, guys.
We're not going to rehash, but apologies.
That's okay. That was the stall I needed. So hi, I'm Isla.
Hello.
I don't know why that one in particular is so funny, but I accept that.
Because vampire game.
Oh. I haven't seen you here. We must have just happened to have missed each other, maybe? Or do you not normally come here?
It's not exactly where I go most days. Just people don't really like to hang out, I guess. And not exactly popular.
Really? Look absolutely confused about that. So that makes absolutely no sense to me, but again, everybody else's loss. So are you new around here?
Oh no, I've been
passing by.
I've been with this deployment since it came out. I'm often pretty busy and don't have the time that some people do. One of the officers who's clearly like her superior just gives her the finger.
I pretend not to notice that. So what do you do?
Oh, I'm just in like the sciences mostly. People think that everyone's got a gun and does military stuff. Not quite.
No, of course not. And so basically from this point, I'm going to take as much time as is needed. To small talk, chat, be very interested in what she does, because I'm trying to come off as a local that doesn't really know that much about the Empire, and be super impressed by everything. And the ultimate goal here is to talk her into taking me back to wherever she sleeps, which I'm hoping is on the ship.
Okay.
And I will use everything up to and including influence force power in order to make this happen.
Okay. So then I'm going to ask, what is your chosen method?
I mean, it's flirtation.
Things with your powers.
Yes, it's flirtation, friendliness, etc. And I'm going to try not to use that if I don't have to, because I want to keep that in the holster in case for what I'm going to need to do once I get on the ship. But if I doesn't seem to be succeeding up to that point, I will do so. So I will start off just by standard pheromones.
Okay.
And fun stuff.
Make me your roll.
Okay.
She has a roll to make too, because you don't get to know.
And I will flip a point for this.
Okay. I'm going to flip a dark side point for an unrelated reason.
Okay.
So don't worry about changing anything on yours, or don't worry about John.
All right. And just diff 2?
Difficulty of 2.
Okay. Well, that's 3 advantages.
Imperial. All right. You are.
Like I said, if it takes
in terms of
3 hours of conversation, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's not quick, but you do manage to. She is pretty vague about her work and maintains that, but is happy to answer broader questions. Essentially, publicly available information. The Don't Spill State Secret seminar clearly worked for her.
That's fine. I was really expecting to get detailed information from her. She's just hopefully might take it onto the ship where I'll get it myself.
Yep, that is definitely an approach and definitely a plan, definitely reasonable. Where's the?
At least until I get onto the ship and I run to an Inquisitor and I blow all of our plans right out of the water.
Okay. Okay. That's unrelated. Don't worry about that. I just don't know how to whisper it to myself.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to worry about that, but...
Ignore the 2 successes and triumph. They don't matter at all.
You don't know what they're for.
That's true. Maybe it could...
What I said.
Maybe it's someone trying to help you behind the scenes.
It could well be.
Maybe
Yoda just decided to show up on this planet.
No, that was my role to see if I could do backflip somersaults in the street.
I think you have more dice than that, and the challenge rating would have been lower.
Yeah. For athletics, I got more dice than that.
That's not, That is not even close to how many dice Praz has in being strong. So, Lux.
Yes.
You eventually manage to convince without being the one to say anything, her to take back. And fortunately, her quarters are on the ships.
Wonderful.
So, as you are headed that way, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
As most of our team has accomplished at least part of their goals for the first day. Come back for part 2.
Back in a minute. I'll be audible this time. And we're back.
Welcome back. As Lux heads away to hack into the Empire and also flirt more.
Have a good time.
Have a good time, yeah.
Great time.
And John does random accents that I don't think your character does.
No, not yet.
Okay. I was trying to remember if that was a reference to something in this game.
No, it's a reference to Gabriel Iglesias.
Okay.
Oh,
I think everyone gets mad at me.
Fluffy?
Cat.
Yes.
Powder is our next focal character.
Oh, goody.
You've been asked to watch the ship, but there are certainly things you could do while doing that. And
okay.
Well, just to remind you of some things that have been going on. Rerun's been reported not just missing, but bountied, and you also have not heard from him in a few days.
Right.
Well, there is all of the stuff with trying to recover Doreen. There's local political stuff that you have been repeatedly shown. Then there's always your own memories and lack thereof.
Yeah. I'm actually going to do... Is there, like, a way... Because I don't know, like, the whole computers thing. Is there a way that I can look up Crossroads somehow? Because that's the name that keeps popping into my head.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out, like, anything about it and why it keeps popping into my head.
So there's the HoloNet, which is sort of essentially the Star Wars equivalent of the internet, except for it's bigger, but also more linear and less Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, you could definitely access the HoloNet and look that up if you would like. Actually, is Powder going to try and do anything particular, or just sort of look up the term?
I think probably they'd first just like look it up and try and get a general idea of what it is, because they know it's a place, but they don't know why it keeps popping into their head as where we should be going.
Yeah. If you're just trying to look it up, I want you to roll me a knowledge underworld check, difficulty of 2, on which you have a boost die for unknown reasons.
Ooh. Okay, and I'm trying to remember the boost die is the blue one?
Yeah, it's the square blue one on the good dice side.
Okay. And that was knowledge. Knowledge what? Oh, no.
I think it's just called computers.
It's just computers. That's right. General skills.
Mm-hmm. Or actually, no, knowledge underworld.
Knowledge underworld. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I just remembered you're not hacking. Lux hacks, you just Google.
Yeah, I Google.
Surface hack.
Well, I got 2 advantage.
With 2 advantage, you can find other references to Crossroads as a destination. You can't find a location or even a general description.
Okay. That seems odd.
Yeah. It does seem odd.
Uh-huh. It seems super odd that I keep thinking of this place, but I can't actually find anything about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, other than the possibility of, like, trying to find deeper into it, but without Rerun's help or somebody else's help, Lux's help or something, I don't think Powder would actually know how to do any of that, because they're not that kind of droid.
that you remember, at least.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think Powder's just kind of hanging out. Probably play some more chess with the intern.
Yeah. He'll happily play with you. He is not actually in on any of the things you guys have discussed because he very carefully and not aggressively, but leaves the room whenever you guys need to discuss sensitive information. So he'll make small talk with you, but
yeah, I'll probably ask more about him, let him tell me stories about him.
Yeah. He'll tell you some of the same stuff he did Lux. He's from a small town. He's reasonably smart, but not very. He's reasonably smart, but not, and was essentially recruited to go to an asteroid and do secret science.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are starting to get attached to him. Lex is so happy.
Hey, Powder has had no problems with the intern.
Okay. And I'm just going to, because Lux's thing is taking a while, I'm going to quickly throw it
that's fine, yeah.
Since Taku and Praz, are either of you got any secondary objectives today?
Mostly I'm just looking around if I happen to run across a R3 droid being chased by a bounty hunter, I might intervene, but I'm not going out of my way to find him right now.
Okay. You do not happen to run across an R3 droid or a bounty hunter chasing an R3 droid, unless Praz is that bounty hunter chasing the R3 droid.
Yeah, I'm just chasing him like a little kid trying to catch a toddler. Get back here! No. If anything, after I ask him and he doesn't answer, I'll just quick message over as if anything, just get a new paint jobs. That'll throw the dumb ones off. And after that, yeah, I'm not really gonna do. I'll just head back to the ship and make sure everything we need that I can work on. So mostly weapons, or mechanically.
Yep.
Fine.
I am going to just my time mapping out escape routes, though. So if I feel a mystical tug in some direction, whatever reason, I'll probably.
Just roll me a second streetwise check. It's not going to eclipse your first one, but given you're spending a lot of time on this.
What?
Difficulty of 2, and this one has a setback die because you've made the roll before.
I just want the Force to pull you into the bathroom. You just really got to go, dude.
3 successes.
With 3 successes, you manage to find a few more as time progresses, and it occurs to you that Praz is probably the right person to ask about this because he is probably more familiar, even if he's not from this specific part of the city, with the general architecture design philosophy, sort of instinctively.
What I'm probably going to do then is continue to map my way back to the ship and hand over the paths that I have made to Praz and have him go over time. This way you can...
Praz,
I'm just curious if in all the scouting you see Lux heading into the ship.
No, I left already.
I mean, right about when Sen's getting back from his second route is probably when Lux is headed over.
That makes sense. That was just
time, but yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, we're doing this all at the same time.
Yeah, Praz, if you would like to, you can roll me. Let's go with a streetwise check with a boost die. For your own sort of examination, see if your local knowledge can cut the time further.
Okay, I am going to upgrade.
Sure.
Because I am not that cunning mechanically. I got a triumph 3 successes and 1 threat.
Yep.
I know
you
my
can
city.
easily cut, like, you can see, like, the intuition that's in sense design, and you're like, no, you want to go this way, and you want to go these ones, and this part dips underground a bit. This is your turf. You're a fucking bounty hunter.
Yeah.
You know this shit.
I trained in urban combat.
Yeah. So,
Just different urban.
both in terms of how you would pursue someone and in terms of how someone might try and escape, you can cut down the time this route is going to take and the obviousness of the route to an outsider quite significantly.
Yeah, you're thinking like a Jedi.
Thinking like a dude that wandered the streets.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Dude that wandered the streets going, hey, Force. Which way
You
do I
there?
go?
You there, Force? Can you hear me?
I'm kidding.
Are you there, Force? It's me, Margaret.
Yep.
New Force, who dis?
Oh God.
Okay.
We got
You
memes.
can tell
folks.
our
We
age
got
differences,
memes.
too. It's always fun when I'm the oldest one in the room. All right.
Not the oldest one in the
You're not.
room.
True.
Also, new phone who dis is not a new meme.
No, I'm aware, but the Are you there, Force? It's me, Margaret, is very much an old one, let me tell you.
I am the Final Show Film senior citizen. Thank you.
How old are you?
I will be 41 in just over a month.
Stan's,
all right.
Stan's older than you.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Stan's in his 60s.
Let's shoot lasers.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for saving me from this discussion.
Sorry.
So, Lux.
You young one.
Yes. So, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
You managed to head back.
Okay.
This is probably not the same ship as Sen is likely to go for, as it is like a well-staffed passenger ship that one person could not drive alone.
That's fine.
And you don't necessarily see too much of the other areas.
You know the great thing about it. You know the great thing about the Empire, they're networked.
They are networked. However, to get in, you would know, especially if you're going to try and access anything secure, you're going to need either one of the comms or passes that has authority, or you're going to need a port.
Yes.
Okay.
So once we get back, to put it tactfully, I will wear poor Aubrey out, and then once there is pretend to fall asleep. Once there is actual sleeping, I am going to get up and start sneaking around the ship.
Okay. We're just going to cut to that part.
Yes, I know. That was the plan.
Yeah. So make me just a stealth roll for
And you better damn be sure. Are there any left? Yes, I'm flipping up
one left. Yes.
This is so when we actually do this, everything goes bad.
The more setup you do, the better chance you have.
I don't know if it would be that much worse if something bad happens in the middle than if I get caught sneaking around on the Imperial ship.
I mean, that's just bad for you. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not wrong.
Just Lux never came back.
Lux never came back. Rerun never came back. Vanlar never came back. We seriously need to do something about this problem.
We keep
Difficulty
losing
2?
people?
Yeah, difficulty of 2.
Okay.
This is essentially an opposed check.
The powder is here to stay.
3 successes.
Okay. With 3 successes, there's people wandering the halls. There are at all times people wandering the halls.
Of course.
But you manage to sort of stay out of the way. Or...
I mean, my plan is, because I'm assuming that, correct me if I'm wrong, but with Lux's experience or past work, she probably knows where certain things are on Imperial ships. They tend to be very standard.
She knows where she needs to go, and she knows general patrol patterns.
So first thing is to go to the locker rooms or wherever the stormtrooper outfits will be.
Yeah. You make your way sort of down over, and yeah.
All right.
Find uniforms.
Find one that fits.
Sure. I believe the Edge of the Empire book does have stats for the armor you're technically wearing.
Which is good, because this thing will not be put back, because there is always value in keeping a spare stormtrooper outfit around if you're working for the rebellion.
I mean, you want to disable the tracer in the helmet, but you know.
Yes, of course, but that's for later. I don't need to worry about that now. That would actually raise more suspicion.
It is laminate armor, by the way, when you're the details for it on page 1.
Yep, it's what Praz wears.
It is, but I believe you modified yours, or
I had to get the helmet to fit horns.
Yes.
For immediate purposes, it just soak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine doesn't look like stormtrooper armor. It was taken off that guy that.
It was taken off that poor idiot. That was.
Yeah.
It's like.
Oh
Justice
yeah,
fighters. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Justice.
We're gonna kill you for justice. What did we do? Justice.
So now that I am able to move about with a bit more freedom, I am going to try to find somewhere where I can get an access point.
Okay. Just as you're heading through, you are heading into secured areas, or more secured areas, so make me a deception roll.
Okay.
Difficulty of 2. And I'm flipping a dark side point.
Okay.
Get a gun, too.
Yes, you kind of have... If you don't have a gun, you are a really bad stormtrooper.
Yes, you get all of the equipment that is standard for a stormtrooper. I just didn't feel like enumerating it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's a blaster carbine.
Yeah.
One
Sounds
upgrade
right.
on difficulty and deception.
It's like the E113 or something like that.
Well, that's an advantage.
Okay. You head on through. You sort of link up with one of the patrolling groups and head on through. You're not entirely sure that you're completely unobserved, but no one has confronted you at this point.
Good. That's all I need. And yeah, I'm looking for an access point, preferably like... I'm going to see if I can just end up somewhere where I can basically have I won't need a huge amount of time, but enough time where enough time to get in, open up a security vulnerability. That once I get back to the that hopefully won't be noticed, and once I get back to the ship, I can exploit directly at my leisure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So at this point, you do make your way to essentially one of the unused control rooms.
Okay. Perfect.
Headed past the guard fortunately, without being questioned.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm trying to figure something out real quick. You can make me a computers roll. This is going to be difficulty of 3. Your code breaker cancels out the setbacks.
Okay. 2 successes and a threat. Yeah, I'm not going to push my luck. That's probably as good as I'm going to get, so I will not re-roll that.
Okay. You do not re-roll, then in that case, you managed to make it inwards, and, like, it's been a while, and you never were really, like, the person who tested these systems. That's a different department.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm basically just trying to create an access point that will not be a firewall vulnerability, so to speak, and an access point that will not be immediately noticed.
Yep. And that check essentially accomplishes that and is the sort of DC,
right,
for lack of a better term, for it to be noticed.
Right.
Yeah. At this point, you need to make your way out.
Yes. She has a thought. She lets it go. Necessary risk. And yeah, I mean, does it look? People do exit the ship in their armor, right?
People do. It's usually groups going off all at once, because typically you and your squad are off duty.
Right. I'm going to find a group.
Okay.
I am going to try to just slide in, and if any of them question it, this is why I'm glad I didn't use my influence.
Okay.
I will try to be like, nope, you know me.
All right. First of all, I just want you to make me a deception check to see if you can fool them.
Doing the
Difficulty of 2.
Step.
Yep.
Okay. They do have a group skill for discipline. I need to actually make sheets for every single minion.
Well, that wasn't great.
They have a willpower 3, and discipline is a minion skill. And there are minion group size. Okay. Oh, geez, I forgot how much that. So you fall into step with a group. They get difficulty of 2, and that's setback. Oh, fuck.
Well, shit.
Stormtroopers are a lot better stats-wise than you would be.
Stormtroopers are the combat units of one of the most powerful entities in this universe.
They're very good, is what I'm saying.
They're very good. And also, minions are incredibly dangerous in groups. And stormtroopers tend to walk around in groups of 6. So you sort of look up, and like a few of them sort of seem to turn to each other, just in a bit of confusion. And actually one of them does turn around to Stormtrooper voice I can't do.
That's fine.
You can 421. Why don't you switch your post?
Yeah. Were you reassigned?
Hold on just a second. I'm reading Influence at the moment.
Yes.
Basically, but
Yes.
I was reassigned.
All right, discipline must be posed by. Okay. So I'm at the point where I can only do it to one person. The person who asked, I'm assuming, is the leader.
Seems to be the leader, yes.
So yeah, I sure was. Much smoother than I just did it.
Okay.
Sure was, sir. I was supposed to. I was assigned to. I transferred out. Just to get a little extra time off, so that when I'm thinking quick off the top of my head, so that when apparently there's supposed to be some kind of thing happening soon, they want more people on at that particular point.
All right.
Whoomp, 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 whoomp.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and roll that.
Oh, yeah.
And pray that this works so I don't have to shoot. How many are there at the moment?
This is just a group of 6.
Oh, only 6. Okay.
Only 6.
My record's 7. I could take them.
You lost.
Yeah.
Is it a record, though?
Yeah, it took all 7 of them to put me down.
No, they only got through like 5 shots.
No, it was all 7.
It was
Wow.
7 because
Fuck,
2 of them
really?
didn't participate.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, the black can be the dark side force can be to accept something untrue, at least, I suppose. I'll take my strain for that.
All right. So is that an opposed roll, or is it just...
It is, yes. Opposed discipline.
Okay. Fortunately, Stormtroopers have discipline. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to use it because he's a minion and you're only targeting him and not his group.
Does that mean it worked?
That means that he gets to roll 3 green dice to
Oh,
see if it worked.
Damn. Come on, nothing.
You can spend a light side to greatest difficulty if you want.
You
Do
can.
we have a light side left?
We have 1 light side.
There you go.
I will be courteous and not flip that back to you yet. Oops, I rolled it without adding the upgrade. Doing so. And he does not have a boost or an upgrade because he's not a scientist I spent a dark side point giving helpful thing before she became completely useless. Okay.
I don't know what those cancel out, those balance out to.
Yeah.
So
essentially, if you'd had any advantages, the advantages would wash.
Right.
You'd had any. If any of the things you shared had been shared, they cancel. So you've got essentially 2 threats, and he's 2 threats. 2 threats with force noted, and he's essentially got 1 advantage with lack of force noted. I don't have any report of that. I think you've been reassigned to the wrong group.
Oh.
Go back to your commander.
Sure thing, sir. That's annoying.
Younger ones are always so incompetent and just heads off on his way.
All right. So that didn't work the way I planned, but that's fine because I do have a backup plan, which is I really want this armor, though. Like, I really, really want it. No, I think this is going to work better. So, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a garbage chute or something that I could dump it into that's going to deposit it outside the ship?
It's going to deposit it outside the ship. I'll say that there is a garbage chute that you're fairly certain leaves the ship.
Okay.
That they essentially use when docked at port so they can just pass their garbage off.
Right.
And you are able, you know where to go to access it.
Okay. So I'm going to go there. If this doesn't work, then I still made them lose a stormtrooper set of armor, so I cost them money. Go me. Take it all off, dump it in, shunk, and I sneak my way back to the room, tying up the one loose end I was concerned about, which is her waking up and saying, "Oh shit, where'd she go?" And pass out.
Okay, make me a stealth check to get back there.
Yep. And this is where I will get like 3 failures and a despair.
Well, you know patrol patterns and stuff, so.
Yeah.
And I am flipping a dark side point.
Great.
Because I'm a dick.
Okay, and yeah, all that. So
You do literally represent the.
no successes.
No, I represent both the part of the force that wants you to succeed and the part of the force that doesn't. And in that respect, I am pulling influence both over your allies and over the Empire.
It's okay. I have a plan in case somebody sees me.
Yeah. So you're sort of hiding behind a corner, waiting for a patrol group to pass in one direction, as a patrol group, not the same one you tried to hook up with. God damn it, why are all words? Walks in the other direction.
Okay.
And does sort of like see you and seem a little bit like, wait, huh?
So I turn around. Oh.
Take your name and rank.
Hi. I'm sorry. How close am I to the room that I was trying to get back to?
With only a threat, you're a few. You're on the right side of the ship, but you're a few blocks away.
Okay. Did the room have its own bathroom? Because I don't think most of the planets I've seen from ships don't have their own bathroom.
No, I just
see where this is going.
Yes, I see your plan.
I'm sorry. Put hands up. Since I'm barely dressed, anyways, this does work. Hi. I'm sorry. This is so embarrassing. I'm here as a guest of somebody's. And I went to go. I don't want to use. You don't need to know all the details, but we were both saying I woke up, needed to use the bathroom, didn't want to wake her up, and now I'm lost.
So guy motions
get out of that deception.
One of his actually make me a deception.
Yeah.
Difficulty of.
Oh look!
But I'm gonna give you a setback die for. There's probably a bathroom fairly obvious in the same hallway.
Well, I flip a light side point back.
Okay.
Oh, please work. Because I'm going to hate to have to kill people on this ship.
Is this just one guy or 6?
Make your plan harder, yes.
2 successes and an advantage. I seem appropriately dumb.
Mm-hmm. So he motions to one of his fellow stormtroopers to essentially like cuff you. All right, we'll confirm your story and
Okay. Yeah. And I will give them all the relevant information. Yep. I do not care if this fucking Imperial scientist bitch ends up getting in trouble for it because...
Okay. So you're sort of escorted to the back of the group, and he and one of the others heads towards the front, knocks on her door. She opens her door. There's some hushed conversation. Barely seems to acknowledge you. Are you trying to overhear?
Yeah, not going to be obvious about it, but yeah, I'm sort of curious to see. I would like to know if I should start trying to kill people before they turn to me.
That would be making a vigilance check.
Okay. Not one of my better die pools. So dump that, and success and a threat.
With one success, it seems like you can't hear their conversation, but after a moment of exchange, the stormtrooper seems vaguely respectful towards her, and after a little more conversation and her, he sort of backs off. You're uncuffed.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I did.
She sort of gives you a look, an assessing look.
Blink, blink.
And
tilt of head.
Fortunately, she's not particularly good at that, so... Ow. Fuck, that was... Yeah, that was exactly what I was trying to roll. Okay. She looks a little confused and then just... Okay, so these guys are going to escort you off. These guys are going to escort you off the ship. Have a nice day.
Okay, can I get my clothes?
She goes back in, sort of folds it close. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Sorry.
And they'll actually help you change before,
okay.
Or help you. They'll.
I mean, if they want to help me change, if you want to help me change, that's fine. That'll get me 6 more sets of stormtrooper armor. I know what you mean. Yes.
This game, jeez.
I am the worst.
This is a story they're gonna go back and they're gonna go back to the bar. Yeah, we dressed her in the hallway.
And I will make my way off the ship.
Yep.
And head back to...
Okay. So, as you arrive back, talk amongst yourselves for a little bit. I need to do something real quick.
All right. So, yeah, I get back to the ship. What up?
Welcome back.
How'd it go?
Have a nice night?
Oh, yes. Yes. So, couple things. News. I've got, and she's saying this as she's walking straight for the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
She can try and get into that access point as soon as she can. Good news, I've got an access point into one of the Imperial ships here. good news number 2, if we want to, if somebody can get close enough to the ship again, probably best not me. I don't think they want to see me near the ship right now, but there's a full set of stormtrooper armor with rifle in the garbage containers.
For how long?
It'll be there for a little while, probably. I don't know. Depends on depends on how prompt that particular place is on doing its garbage cleanup. Then you have to go to the dump. Speaking of which, so I've got a little bit of work to do here. Could somebody go to this garbage can in this alleyway and grab the rest of my clothes and my gun?
Ez, you want to go take care of that?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
I'll see if I can get a container and just get that armor too.
So I will compose. I will create while we're working in the cockpit. I'm just going to create like a 3D model of the outside of the starport and hand it over to Lux. Whatever you remember from the inside, put it here so we can.
Yep.
You see the cockpit at all? How big? What kind of a ship?
I did not manage to get that quite that good. I don't know that that's going to be the ship that you're going to want to go for. Hopefully my access in is going to be good enough to get us all the information we need, though.
So put what we have currently into this sort of model.
Yeah.
And then when as Lux gets more information, add it to it. And we'll go ahead and mark where that garbage chute was, so that I know where was it in relation to the entrances that I scouted out. Where was it?
You probably would have seen where it goes. It goes underground, but so if the entrance you noticed as particularly vulnerable is on this side, the main entrance is on this side. It's in the front, essentially. It's on the third.
So it's like on the back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So just sort of coordinating approach routes, entrance, where that sort of as a bonus cache is, just in case I have a chance to get to it.
I think that's what Prez is going to go try and see if he can get it.
Lux sent Praz dumpster diving.
Well,
she feels bad about that.
That was for the other one. I'm talking about the stormtrooper gear.
Well, no,
I could probably get them in one trip.
Yeah.
Is what if
the
it's outside.
Gear is on the inside of the.
It's probably in that hangar.
Which we can't get to. That hangar is locked off.
We'll see.
To off-worlders, I'm just another Zabrak.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try too hard. I mean, that is the cherry on top of this.
Oh yeah, I've already got laminate armor. I don't
Triple
need it.
Sunday of a reward if we actually pull this miracle off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I can look across and see that it's not worth it, I'm just gonna keep pushing, driving by.
Yep. So yeah,
difficulty E3 to get in and get what you need.
Alrighty. Let me make sure. Difficulty 3. All right, I'll be re-rolling that. There's my re-roll for the session.
Just as a clarification, does your re-roll mean you have to take the second roll?
I am checking now. All it says is once per session you roll any one computer's or astrogation check. So I am assuming the answer is yes.
That would be my guess.
That might be GM discretion,
that's the risk of it. You roll, but you could roll worse. Which in this case you kind of did. The vulnerability isn't as convenient as you were hoping.
Okay.
And we're still having trouble getting into any sensitive systems. You've got an entrance, but you're not getting through right now. You can make another roll to try and get into essentially different parts of the system, but it's going to be with a setback for previous attempts.
That's fine. I will give it a shot because hopefully my dice will actually behave. I mean, this is me.
And I'm exercising restraint and not flipping a dark side point.
Setback die. So yeah, lots of profanity in whatever languages I know are coming out now.
Oh.
Hey, there we go. There's 2 successes and a threat.
So you were hoping to get essentially information about the interior of the ships, like schematics, stuff like crew complement, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get in there, but you decided, okay, you know what? I'll try more personal information. I'm going to try things that I can hack more socially.
Right.
And sort of like, okay, find the right person whose password is easy enough to bypass. And you do manage to get in, not to that, but to essentially the Imperial schedule, the expectations of how long they're going to be here, their estimated time frames.
Good to know.
Which is also useful information for you. What you learn from that, and just to remind you, you have 3 days until you have a ship change.
Right.
Is that the exchange is scheduled for 5 days from now, and that was the initial time agreed upon. The Empire is hoping to move it up. Their ideal schedule would actually have been to leave tonight. Doesn't seem like they've accomplished that yet, but
okay.
They're still sort of negotiating in that time frame to try and get it as soon as possible. Get the handoff, which you can infer, given other information you have, what the handoff is.
Right.
You also essentially get the official schedule for Lau, the person who's officially in charge of this delegation, who you briefly met. For
is there anything in the scheduling that suggests the presence of anybody we were not previously aware of?
Okay. That's going to be a little harder to figure out because that information is obscured.
Right. If not, that's fine.
You can argue for a different role, but I'm going to say this is a knowledge warfare with a boost die for your familiarity with Imperial procedure.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And difficulty 3 or 2 or
difficulty
5?
Is going to be 2.
Okay.
But keep in mind the number of successes means the detail of information in this case.
Of course not.
There's nothing that
Look at those shitty
There's
dice.
a few things that sort of stand out, but nothing you can determine means there's someone else here.
Okay.
Or the details of any compliments can't be inferred.
Right.
But you have a fair amount of information, at least, about your local procedure and when shift changes are, stuff like that.
So yeah, I shoot that all over into our big damn hero plan document that sends that up.
Yep.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Didn't pay off as much as I hoped, but
Yep.
I mean, all in all, experiences and everything else inside, I consider that whole thing a win.
All right.
We also have a
Is
time
there
frame
anything
now.
else you want to try and get out of this exploit? Those were the two I understood, but
I mean, if this works, it would be amazing. But is the exploit enough that I can introduce some kind of malicious code to, if we can figure out when we want this timed to interfere with communications or shut down security stuff at a specific time?
Something that you're asking out loud?
No, this is something that I'm asking because I would know one way or the other.
You would. You would need to use access codes. And you suspect that the forged access codes that you still have, even if they are still viable, would not be high enough clearance.
Okay.
You would almost certainly need to use your own access codes, and that comes with a long list of risks that I think.
Oh man, no, that kind of almost works. So I turn around in my chair and I'm like, all right, how lucky are you feeling right now?
On any given day, roughly normally do?
That is the worst answer to that question in the history of time.
Well, when you ask it out of nowhere and I don't have context for why I should be lucky, that's the answer you're going to get. Why do you ask?
So,
I feel all right.
Thank you. Someone knows how this works. Okay, so here's the thing.
Luck is a construct.
You're not an enabler. That's hilarious. So here's the thing. I can potentially introduce something that's going to fuck up their programs, and I mean that literally. At a particular point, if we can get everything going according to a basic schedule. Here's the thing, I would have to use my own access codes. Here's the thing, that kind of fits with the idea of throwing all the suspicion off of Praz's people.
Fair.
Here's the thing, that throws all the suspicion and a giant red bullseye on us.
So, first, let's recap what we know that you've learned. Add to hologram. Bullet points.
You know when and where they're going to do the
Yes.
exchange?
Yep.
So, when and where is that?
About 5 days from now is the plan. They're trying to push it up, but they're not having a lot of success with that because your people are awesome and don't give a fuck.
Sure.
It was in my
On the surfing to their ship.
Yeah.
I was distracted and actually missed it.
Yeah, same here.
And I heard it, and then it left my head.
Yeah.
Because
On their
that's information.
essentially at the ship you're already aware. At the shipyard hangar bay that you're already aware of.
Yep.
Is where the handoff is going to take place.
Okay, so that complicates some things slightly. What else do we know about what else have you learned about the hangar?
Not a hell of a lot.
We know my people will have it under surveillance.
Are they taking? Are they planning on taking that ship, or are they planning on taking a different?
I don't believe that's something that I know or not.
The exact details of that would have been in the systems you didn't manage to get into. Yeah. What you know is essentially like
that's
once they're done with like this, they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Was
that did not seem like a prisoner transport ship, though, did it?
No, that seemed like we need a show of force, so here's a pile of stormtroopers.
That's probably not the ship.
But they have to have a brig. That's enough for one guy.
Yes, but I imagine they have another ship here.
So, basically, once I get inside the wall, I'm operating on instinct. How big was that ship?
fairly decently sized. It's a passenger
Lux,
ship.
you're almost certain that ship was too big for one person to pilot successfully.
Yeah, I don't think
and
you can get
too
that.
staffed for Sen to get everyone else off of it.
Yeah. So we're looking for
Short
a different
of
ship.
closing out the cockpit and then opening up all of the doors to the atmosphere.
Yes, but that would require getting into atmosphere while a whole bunch of people are running at him. So he could try it.
Also, mass murder.
Yeah.
Yes. Also mass murder.
Roughly, I know we've probably already gone over this, but did you get an idea of how many squads of stormtroopers they have?
At least a few.
Okay, so get over the wall. I know a way to. I know. And I'll point it out on the diagram that we have. I know a way to get into the place mostly undetected. They have lighter security on the opposite side of the hangar bay from ship. Might be increased on the day of if they have another ship. But there's a ventilation access location that we can get in. Well, that you or I could get in. Raz is a little bulky, and Powder is a little too loud. That we could get into to get into the hangar unnoticed. Surprisingly, bet we could try to go get that stormtrooper. At that point, I'm not sure.
I mean, stormtrooper armor is always going to be useful for us.
If you have time to put it on, yes.
I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about down the line. It's it's the gift that keeps giving when you're trying to fuck the Empire in the ass.
True.
So go for it.
We can get two of us into the shipyard itself, which is fine because the other two are going to have to stay back to get the ship off the ground, so that we have something to rendezvous. I'm actually thinking we might have. So here's an idea. When we swap out ships, Lux and I covertly get out into the city using some of those routes Praz and I discussed, and hide ourselves away as Praz and Powder take off with the ship. Make it seem like we've already left. You take the ship to a predetermined rendezvous point. Lux, it's up to me to get in, get our man.
I thought
Lux, as the person who has the most experience and expertise on this, once Doreen has been transferred, it's going to be almost impossible to get.
Yeah, we're done at that point.
Just you could try during the transfer. It would be very challenging. Your best bet is likely your initial plan, which was to get him before the Empire.
Yes.
Okay, so on the way.
Are we completely scrapping the plan of
I
my...
thought the idea was...
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I thought the idea was to try and
make
get
him
into...
seem dead.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I was focused on, they're going to transfer him here. That's where the transfer...
Yes.
That.
Your initial plan, now I'm not saying you have to do this, was to get him before the transfer took place.
I was thinking
probably from wherever Prez's people have him.
It's hot. My AC's off. I'm tired. It's
been a long day.
It's been weeks.
So tomorrow we need to work on discovering where Doreen is.
Okay.
That's going to be on you, Raz. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
I can possibly help with that. At the very least, we can scout out potential locations. See if there's clues that we find on the ground that we can play back to Lux, who can.
Yeah.
It'll be out.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we can just check any, because only the upper part of the council, the government, and the Empire know the importance of Dorian. So
Doreen.
So they might be holding him in a pretty obvious place, like a jail or a holding cell in a government, or in maybe in the main building, the main government building.
Well, do you have any idea what building might be holding?
Yeah, I was thinking jails, holding facilities, or even if they've thrown him in a prison.
Or potentially hospitals. Those are always a good place to hold captives.
Yeah.
If he's in a hospital, I would be able to help easily.
Yeah, that would make it a lot easier for you.
That would be amazing.
Determine first. Hospitals have just as good a security as prisons, quite often, because of the nature of services.
Well, especially if they're supposed to be prisoners,
Yeah.
they have guards at the hospital as well.
We'll look at the less publicly controlled facilities and less government controlled facilities and old.
Okay.
Be the plan for tomorrow.
Okay.
Meantime, let's get some.
Yep. I could use it.
Don't read any more into that comment.
Nope. Read everything you want into that comment. I can give you detail.
That's fine.
Powder will make sure that everyone has a drink before bed.
I've drawn some diagrams. They're stick figures because I'm not that much of an artist, but
Okay.
How does one get into that position?
That's a clipping issue.
All right. Are you guys doing anything else, or are you actually all going to sleep?
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
After having done my best to make people uncomfortable because it's fun, I'm going to sleep.
All right. So at about 5 a.m, Lux. So you guys have been sleeping for a while, but probably earlier than you typically get up. One of your sort of notification emergency contingency things pings at you.
Okay. Wait a minute. Suddenly I'm awake and looking to see what it is.
So you've set up a ton of contingencies and ways to make sure your system is monitored and that nothing has access to any of the stuff.
Uh-huh.
So the notification you get is essentially Rerun's comm has left this planet. Which
hit the communicate in ship intercom. Sen Raz Powder.
Yes.
Yes, Lux.
Did
What?
Did Rerun happen to mention to anybody that he might be leaving the planet?
Oh.
No. When I looked at the
left
bounty,
the planet.
when I looked at the bounty, it was a local bounty, right? So they wanted him brought to the local office.
the details were essentially contact to this person. But it was a local bounty in that he was wanted on this planet.
Yeah, so they wouldn't take him off planet. I don't think.
Did Prez
You don't know.
tell us about the bounty?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, he had a bounty on his head.
and we warned him about it.
We should probably.
He has gone into
him.
hiding, I'm sure.
I am glad those were your next words.
Yes. He has incriminating information in the hard drive.
All right, now we're going to argue. That's not why we're going to go find him,
No.
you unfeeling monster.
He's also my friend.
He's
also. It's on the shipwide intercom. You can't.
I know. I just mean I'm not talking through it anymore.
He's also my friend that I rescued from a swoop gang before I ever met you, Lux. Click.
He taught me fun words.
To react to things. What can I say?
I've known him longer than all of you. I get up.
Okay. It is like technically
Powder
you
will
have
meet
had
you
your
outside
full
your
rest,
door
and
with a glass of
you
water.
may choose to go back to sleep or not.
Water and head to cockpit. And when I get there, if Lux isn't there, I hit the intercom. Lux's room.
Oh, I'm already like halfway there.
Okay.
I haven't bothered to put anything on.
Water on the desk. All right. Let's find him.
A moment later, Powder will come into the cockpit with a drink for Lux.
I'm going to look and see.
Powder, when you Darius, who sort of has gotten up just because all of this was on the shipwide intercom, I know nothing and I am not going to sell you out or something. Sorry, I'm tired.
That is good to know.
And then he goes back to where he's been sleeping, which is like the passenger area.
I'm going to look and see if I can check on this current status of Rerun's bounty.
Okay, yeah. Easy enough. I'm not going to make you make a roll. It's not something you'd notice unless you're checking, but the bounty is no longer available.
Well, whoever was looking for him found him.
Well, that settles it.
Lux, who found him?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I can call my buddy at the office and see if anybody brought him in.
I mean, that would connect us to him. We know they have.
Standard difficulty for a computer?
Yeah, standard difficulty. No setbacks because, well, this would be encrypted. That doesn't matter to you.
I need to take those die out. One success and an advantage.
All right, with one success and an advantage. Bounties are not typically labeled with like whole organizations exactly who ordered it. But you can find essentially the contact information and trace it back through that. It does seem that Rerun was picked up by a subset of Swoop Gang.
Okay.
It's
Rescued him from.
He done messed up.
Which means that they're going to be on Nar Shaddaa.
All right.
How
I
long
recognize
would
where
a trip
that
to Nar
is?
Shaddaa be?
Longer than we have.
Yeah.
It would take about 3 days to get to Nar Shaddaa.
Back immediately.
Nar Shaddaa is fairly around major trade routes, so it's less than it would otherwise be.
I back in the chair. Well, if he's going back to Nar Shaddaa, it's unlikely he's going to be. Probably just going to strap her. Can probably get to after here, or we can abandon it. Either way, it's going to take us.
We still have 2 more days before the new ship is ready, correct?
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow you would have the different ship, which is going to have roughly the same time for travel.
Both of those options seem like the moral equivalent of licking a sewage ditch clean.
Neither one of them are good options, correct. Either...
Yeah, do I want dog shit in my hand or do I want cat shit?
Either...
On your tongue.
Either
Yes.
we leave our friend to the mercy of a swoop gang that I've rescued him previously, and
Right.
he has done his best to make miserable by blowing up shit,
Right.
or we leave the secret to advanced cloaking technology in the hands of the...
Or we do the worst thing in the world, which is split up.
We're not splitting
I'm
up.
glad I wasn't the only one thinking it.
Okay.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Famous
No,
last
it's a
word.
terrible,
It's a terrible idea.
No.
They don't
But-
know Praz, and they don't
Yeah, they
know
don't.
Powder.
You're talking about the swoop gang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither
Wrong,
Praz nor Powder have any issues going to Nar Shaddaa.
And I mean, let's be
I am not a combat droid.
That I got combat covered. Don't worry.
let's be honest. It would probably be best if you were not involved. If this is something I was trying to pretend wasn't an issue, but it would
Yeah.
probably be best if you were not involved in the secret stealing away of somebody under your people's guard.
There is the issue of if we are taking this ship,
No, you're taking the ship tomorrow.
We have to wait. They'll
We'd
have
be
a
waiting
day
for
head
the
start
new
on
ship.
us.
Yes.
They've already got. They're gonna have a day's head start.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
that is unavoidable. Either way.
Yeah.
okay.
So
But
this is the last day. Oh,
So
probably.
that also means that we will not be able to help if you get into trouble.
Lux and I
Yeah,
have
we'll have a rescue to hold over their heads when we get back.
Lux and I have gotten ourselves out of war.
You also will not have a ship to recon with if you go with the plan you currently have.
Correct.
You'll
I
just
mean,
have to
this
use
is going
that
to
ship.
require us changing the plan. It's going to be less secretive and playing a fucking shell game, and it's going to be more stealing somebody away, stealing an Imperial ship,
Which was part of the plan in the first place.
and flying away. Yes, but that was the misdirect. That
Yeah.
was the shell that they were supposed to go after.
Now it's
Well, the other
that-
shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall have to completely rethink things.
Not completely, just
Praz and I will continue on our job that we had already set for today. Lux, we need reinforcements.
We just need a place to hide him instead
the
of
fuck am I
rendezvousing
supposed
somewhere.
to get us reinforcements.
We're going to need a place to move that we can dump an Imperial ship that...
I was going to worry about that once we were in the air and they didn't have the option to say no. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
All right.
Plus,
And usually
I-
less deadly.
exactly. Plus, I think once we are delivering an Imperial ship with all the information in its data banks, they are going to overlook the inconvenience of having to hide it.
Are they going to overlook the inconvenience of a Star Destroyer reacting that's to theft?
Oh, come on. You can sneak your way around
On
well enough
this
to avoid
ship,
Star
sure. Not on an Imperial shuttle. That's a little harder. They track those.
You don't know. Oh, that. One
I'm sure
problem
Lux
at a
can
time. I can
figure
disable.
out.
Yeah. Once we get in there, I will, if I need to, I will start pulling wires until the tracker goes off.
All right.
But that's not going to
In that
be.
Are you
case-
sure you guys haven't seen Star Wars Rebels?
I have seen some of it.
I have not.
I haven't.
All right. So new plan for today then. Lux, if you can find any black market activity on this planet that isn't legislated or connected to the people we previously ripped off, we need stormtrooper. Something that'll give us even the slightest amount of edge in getting on, other than suit of armor.
I was gonna say, we do know where there is
we need 3 sets.
I was gonna ask.
Oh yeah,
Lux,
for Dorian too.
Yes.
Lux, you know how the Empire operates. They have a big ship attracting all the attention. If there's a second ship here, would it possibly be just like any other ship, off in a separate dock, like we are, not drawing attention to itself, just acting like a completely civilian ship while they're here? Would you know what?
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Lux, you had multiple public ships, they would probably be docked in the same place.
Yes,
it's entirely
like
if you were accompanying someone, you might take your own ship and just dock as a civilian.
Like if that was the one that was handling the transfer, if that's not his transfer, so when the big ship leaves, everybody's eyes are on that when it leaves, and they just fly off in a separate. Basically, what we were trying to do, except they do it in broad fucking daylight because nobody expects that anyways.
Yeah.
Is it something you would do, Lux? If you were escorting?
Yeah, it's something. It's absolutely. It depends on the situation. To be fair, if the Empire, in this case, absolutely, because the Empire clearly does not want Dorian to be a publicly known situation, because the second that everybody else knows that he exists and that he's being taken into Empire control, killer capture is everybody else's first goal.
We know they're using your MO in other people.
Well, yeah.
Probably also.
I mean, that's
suspiciously private ship that docked close to this time.
So that's not my MO. That's Imperial secret.
Yeah.
Also, which is, yes. I don't think the secret me is here. my dark clone or whatever the fuck is going on. I really hope now. I hope we don't turn around a corner and suddenly I see me, and then you have to figure out as we're fighting and rolling.
If there
around.
is a dark clone, this would be the exact kind of situation where the Force would do that. Just from storybooks.
Yeah, no, that if Lux, I hate to break this to you, but if there was some sort of secret cloning operation that the Emperor was carrying on in the shadows,
don't you say it.
This is exactly the situation that they would rear their head.
I told
Force works like that. It's kind of a dick sometimes.
Are you saying that I am going to have to get into a knockdown, drag-out fight with myself at some point?
Yes. Potentially.
I don't know whether I'm angrier or more excited.
I will do my best.
You can't have sex with yourself.
I will do my best to
fuck you can't. But that's not...
So there was a contraction used. That was cat, not powder.
I will do my best if I'm not currently fending off builders to record.
I mean, no, that'll be more of the murder rolling around, not the other kind.
I mean,
just for everyone's benefit, because I know these things sometimes get confused, you don't actually have any confirmation there is a dark clone, just someone using the same MO.
Yes.
Oh, I'm well aware.
That was Sen going, What's the worst case scenario that I can think of? That's the worst case scenario.
Yep. That's why I fed you that line.
Yeah. Lux is still of the opinion that it's her Sulin using her reputation.
Yeah.
It's like 007.
But my
and since
it's a title.
She's certainly not the only person who have ever used that. It would be such an over the top coincidence to her, as much as from a meta standpoint, that would be perfect. That she's dismissing the possibility out of hand. She's just finding dark amusement in this.
Regardless of any potential clone shenanigans, it'd still be a good idea for us to inspect as thoroughly as possible any ships that happen to dock privately around the same time that the Imperial vessel and haven't left yet. Who potentially might have logged flight plans for a few days from now.
Okay.
That's something you can do while Praz and I are scouting out for.
I could probably do that.
As well as finding some black markets. Because...
Yep.
Okay. So, you've been planning. How would you like to execute upon your planning?
We're gonna look for. One of us should probably look through the records of any. If you want to look through the hospitals, any recent within the last, what was it? It's been 3 days since we've been here.
Yep.
So, any patients that have been admitted within the last 3 days that require guards.
Well, first, I think we see if there are any hospitals that have a guard presence from normal.
Yeah.
And then
if there's any local holding facilities, jails, prisons.
Do we want to do that via computer or via walk-in?
Well, I probably know where the local, if there's any jails locally.
Praz and I will probably walk around. Powder, if you would like to use the computers to check and provide any medical records as a access certain protocols that we don't.
I can certainly try. Can I try?
Praz and I go walk about. And leave the computer people to computer stuff.
Yep. I do things better with my looking eyes.
Your looking eyes?
Yep.
So, other than the term looking eyes, what are you specifically trying to determine? Guard presence or...
Yeah, guard
location?
presence at the nearest hospital, and
it was if there's been any additional guards at a hospital or
any locations of interest with higher guard presence as you go around.
Yeah.
Right.
Given that Sen has gotten up, I'm going to ask Praz to make the roll with 2 boost die from Sen's assistance, and this is going to be streetwise.
Streetwise.
Or streetwise or vigilance. Either one would be.
I will use vigilance.
Because you're better at that, I'm sure.
I am very much so. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty of 3.
Okay. That's 2 boost.
It was 80 degrees in this house.
3 successes.
Welcome to my bedroom, where it's usually 90.
All right. With 3 successes. Everywhere has increased guard presence. Actually, you remember that's actually what you were hired for. They're essentially blanketing the city in guards, both as a show of force and, now that you think about it, probably to disguise wherever they have put him. Because if everything has an increased guard, nothing stands out for having an increased guard.
Yeah.
The local hospital does. Both of the local prisons you're aware of, and the town hall and stuff do. The council members, there's houses do not have an increased guard, but then again, they might not need it, given that the council members are themselves essentially, they have personal bodyguards, but they're kind of their own guard. John?
So while we're walking around in that case, I would like to scout out and see if any of those guards stand out as particularly well trained.
Okay.
Like anybody, like
unlike us.
Like you said, they bolstered the guard with a lot of volunteers.
You're basically looking, who's not a minion?
Yeah. Who here is where's the Mandalorian? You know, we're
difficulty. Yeah. Difficulty 2 vigilance check, with a setback die, and I'm flipping a dark side point.
Okay.
Because I've been holding on to them, unfortunately.
That's fine. Setback die. Difficulty 2, setback. Upgrade. Vigilant. Vigilance. A success and a threat.
Okay. So you're looking around looking for who seems out of place, who seems better trained. It's a little hard to determine, largely because, hey, if someone's well trained, they're trained well enough to blend in with other armed forces if they're subtly guarding something.
Yeah.
And the guards, Praz would note in his sort of assistance, the guards are more eclectic than usual, probably because they've brought a lot of people on to keep up this increased presence. So the unusual people that stand out, you're not sure if they stand out because they're useless extras or because they're useful non-minions. So you do, with one success, you determine that certainly the people who are at the town hall do seem well trained. But that could also be because that's the seat of power.
And I don't know if this is a roll I can make, or if this is a separate roll, or if it would go based off the first roll. Do any of the locations look like the guards are particularly green? Like, well-trained guards can blend in with the common stock, but poorly trained guards will stand out, if only to show we're not sure.
Okay. So you're looking for you guys.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Make me a vigilance roll. I'll flip another dark side point, but this one won't have a setback die. Okay. Because you're not looking for well-trained people that have that rival thing.
I upgraded still, but mine. At this point, I was trying to, they're definitely not there.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes and an advantage.
Notably, the marketplace, and of the locations you've seen. The hospital also seems to have more people that are notably not necessarily seem terribly competent at their jobs. Yeah, you can pick them out. They're actually pretty well dispersed, but there's a few places that clearly the show of force is more of a show of force than
So definitely not somewhere in the marketplace. Definitely not that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be your guess. Then again, you have no idea where in the marketplace you would stash someone, because it's mostly these small stalls and business buildings.
So after we get done looking, I regroup as. So definitely not the hospital. Soldiers there were green.
Okay.
The prison seems a bit obvious to me, but that might be perfect. The town hall has But from what I could tell, the town hall has the best trained guards. But
Yeah.
It's either going to be
The town hall or the prison.
town hall or the prison.
Just to clarify, there are 2 prisons.
The town hall.
Technically a prison and a jail, but
Yeah. Yeah.
How far away? How far away are these 3 buildings from each
they're within easy walking distance.
Are 2 of them closer than the other?
Yeah, I'll say that the jail is closer and the prison is further away.
Okay, so the jail's closer to the town hall, further away from both. As you're familiar with the streets, would it be possible for one person to keep an eye on the town hall and the jail? Another person.
Would I?
It would be challenging, but if someone got on the right rooftop, they could probably keep an eye out from a far distance on both.
Yeah, we all know how my people are about trespassing.
Is there anything that I can look into?
You can't do it just because you have a badge. Yeah.
I know.
Is there anything that I can look into computer-wise at all to be able to help?
So you're not part of this conversation right now. You and Lux are back at the ship still.
Yeah. We did ask her to look into medical records and prisoner transfers.
I know. I was just.
I know. Yeah.
But this particular.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Praz, I'm gonna need your help with this. I have an idea.
Okay.
And it's no crazier than splitting us up because we're doing that.
Yeah.
My thought is, if Lux can probably talk her way to a rooftop, very easily.
I can climb my way to a rooftop. I just need to make sure nobody sees me.
You're not gonna be.
Yeah, that's right.
My thought is, Lux watches the town hall and the jail. I watch the. Whenever we see the transfer begin, because obviously we circle back towards some place roughly between the 2 areas and the shipyard for an ambush. I'm gonna need your help finding out, determining the best access route or the best access routes from those locations backwards, and where a good spot to plan a trap is gonna be.
Okay.
So that we have 3 predetermined locations. If none of the best access routes.
Okay.
So I think that's what we're going to be doing for now.
All right.
Switch back to the ship crew.
Okay. So yeah. So for the 2 of you who are staying back on the ship, computer time.
Yes.
Yay.
What you looking for? Powder, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I was basically asked to look for anything at the hospitals or whatever.
Okay.
Seeing if anyone had been admitted needing a guard or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. We'll essentially assume you're assisting each other. Powder, you can make this. I'm gonna say you can make this a medicine check, and your assistance is via. Lux is getting you into the system,
and then I'm just figuring out all the medical stuff.
Does that. And you're going to be using your contextual understanding to look at the medical data.
Awesome.
Lux is just presses a few buttons. There you go. Hands you the data. Because they're not
sounds good.
As hard to get into. So yeah, medicine check, difficulty 3, and I'm flipping a dark side point.
Okay, so that means upgrade on the right side? Is that what that means? Okay.
On the evil dice side.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm clicking the right stuff. And then what does Lux's help?
Lux's help is the reason you're able to make this roll without making a computer's roll first.
Got it. Okay. So. Well, that would be two threat and a triumph.
Okay. With 2 threat and a triumph. You actually did a medical examination on Doreen. You're pretty certain none of the people admitted, even those with more vague descriptions, would match his condition, body type, closely enough. But unfortunately, that means you don't have anything in terms of him being at the hospital.
But that means that I'm positive he's not at the hospital. But
it does mean you're positive he's not at the hospital.
Okay. Okay.
Lux, what's the first thing you would like to look into?
First things first is trying to locate black market-y areas.
Okay.
I'm going to try and check the local dark net.
Yeah.
Subway, whatever.
Make me just a knowledge underworld check with a boost die from Powder's technically assisting.
Sorry, which roll?
Knowledge underworld.
Knowledge underworld with a boost die. Difficulty
of 2.
Okay.
This is mostly about parsing, not like
4 successes and an advantage. Or a threat.
So with Powder sort of pointing things out like, that seems relevant, you pretty easily zone in on what you're looking for. There are any number of fairly separate from the government underground agencies. You can find one that seems like they'd probably sell Stormtrooper stuff, or at the very least, good bootleg Stormtrooper stuff.
Right.
Obviously, like anything like this, it's probably going to be a little more pricey than the prices that the Empire pays to make the stuff.
Found the cosplay pages.
I mean, you found the cosplayer who realized that they could make money-making face police uniforms page. Yes. Which I'm sure has happened. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, having found the underground, vetted the hospital, checked out the guards, and coming into your second of 3 days before you can get off this planet with 2 urgent missions pressing on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to end for tonight.
All right. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.